Hey guys, first let me say I'm so sorry that I have not updated Facebook like at all. Actually recorded things and I just forget about them, or I'm like, oh well, I'm going to record a better update tomorrow and I'll just combine it, and it just doesn't work. So I'm just going to try to get everything out and upload this when I get home. So, little recap. The 15th of October, my third beta came back, and they said that it hadn't doubled, and after 9 days. So I'm having a chemical pregnancy and I have to stop meds. So I stopped meds, and they told me that within 2 to 3 days I would start to bleed, and then as soon as I was done bleeding I could get back on birth control, and then we'd start the meds and all that. So on the 22nd, well, 22nd was a Monday, and the Friday before that I had messaged them, I'd emailed the clinic, and I was like, hey, nothing at all has happened. There's like not even signs of anything happening. You know, how long could it take or whatever. And then they said that it could take up to a week, but just to be sure, they were going to send me in for another beta. And at that point, I really didn't know what to think. Like, I didn't know if they were thinking that I was still pregnant or what, because I'd been on meds for 8 days, so even if I was still pregnant, it wasn't going to be good, because it didn't have any meds to help sustain it. So on Monday I went in for the ultrasound. Well, on Monday I went in for the more blood work, I guess I should say, first in the morning, and the beta came back 200 higher, so it went from, second beta was 272, I think, and the third beta was like 520 or 565, and then the fourth beta on that Monday, the 22nd, was 7 something. So in another like 8 days, it had, or 9 days, it had only risen 200 points. So they called me up and they said that's really weird, because if it was chemical, it should have dropped already. But it also wasn't a normal pregnancy because the numbers kept rising. So so it sent me in for an ultrasound to confirm that it wasn't in my tube. So I got in for the ultrasound that day at 3, and they checked my tube, and there was nothing in my tube. So they checked my uterus, and all they found was what they called free fluid, and if they described it to me right, was it looked like something had tried to form and then just didn't. And then they also found a sac, like an empty sac. There was no fetal pole in the sac. And it was odd because like 20 minutes before my ultrasound, I started to spot. And I was like, oh, that's weird. So I texted, I was like, well, do you not want me to go in since I'm spotting? And they're like, no, please go in. So I went in, I found the sac, all of that. Sorry, my sound really plugged up. My nose is horrible. So, started spotting, and then after the ultrasound, it kind of stopped, like nothing happened. And then the next day, I had like a really light spotting, and then again nothing. Like, it was weird. And then eventually, over the next few days, I started to bleed a little bit more, but it was never super heavy. And they kept asking me if I'd seen a sac pass, and I hadn't. And so they gave me like 2 weeks, week and a half, 2 weeks, to pass everything, and nothing happened, and I never saw a sac pass. So I went to my own OB on a Thursday and had another ultrasound, and this was, I think it was the very first Thursday of the month. Yeah, so this last Thursday. Okay, so I went in this past Thursday for what they call the pre-op ultrasound, which was just to like look what was in there, and then I was going to schedule a D&C for today. We got in there and my uterus was completely empty. There was nothing. It looked just like it did when I was going in for my monitoring appointments to see my lining. It was like completely flat. You could see like the perfect like line. I don't know. So somehow I passed the sac. I don't know if it like disintegrated, I passed a little bit, so I just didn't realize I passed the sac. I have no idea. But I did, so everything's good. Yesterday I went in for one last final beta, and it was at a 1. So that was really good. They expected it to be a little higher since my number did get up to like 700. So yeah, now I am just waiting. They want me to have one normal period, and then I can start all the meds and everything again. So, you might not hear from me for a while, just because there's absolutely nothing to update on. But, I think they'll send me out a calendar as soon as I start a period, and they told me that it's usually about 4 weeks after, pass, I guess, the blighted ovum. So, I was just kind of mathing around in my head, and I think that would make a transfer like the 21st of December if we did it on another Friday. So that could be fun. Anyways, talk to you guys soon. Bye.